Hey, good morning, guys. This is Celia, aka ForRealCeil with 90 Days Hindu and MLS. Oh my goodness. So it is cold. It's so cold. My car got a snowflake on the dashboard. That's how cold it is. My goodness. I am telling you, this is no joke. Yeah, the cold has hit us, and it ain't even winter yet. Winter doesn't start until December, I think the 20th or the 21st. So, yeah, we got a minute. But it is brick out here. So, yesterday I did the PSENG Energy Assistance Conference. That was a nice event. A lot of value was taken. Got a lot of updates about a lot of different things. There are several scams going around, and I just want to make people aware that some of them are with regard to Social Security benefits and others are IRS fraud scams. And I know people get them all the time and are most likely aware by now, but there are some who still are not. These robocalls and calls that you get that say they're going to stop your Social Security benefits, or they're going to fine you or take you to jail because you owe the IRS back money from some mysterious place that you never had a reason to owe the IRS. Believe me, if an IRS is looking for you, they're not going to reach you by a robocall. They're not going to call you by phone. Neither is Social Security Administration. They will mail you an item, or if you log on to www.socialsecurity.gov, you can have an online account access, and you will receive notifications via your online account. And on that site, even if you do not have an account set up, you will learn about all the scams and other things that are going on and happening, because they are there's a lot of warnings out here for people, for seniors, disabled, just for the regular population of people, because fraud is rampant right now. People are taking people's money, and they have been getting billions of people's dollars by calling them, threatening them, scaring them, and using tactics like that to extort money from them. So just be aware of things like that, and don't fall prey to it. If ever you get a call from an organization or a government entity, what you really need to do is you need to call that place directly yourself. You hang up on that call, you don't say anything, you don't respond. Any responses can be altered to sound like a yes or a okay or whatever. You don't want to give out any information. You also do not want to answer any questions. So again, if you think that somebody is calling you from an official place, then what you need to do is reach out directly to that official office that you know, or go in person if you have a office in your community that you could report to, because again, you don't want to fall victim of one of these pranks. I call it pranks, but it's a scam, and it could be very injuring, so with that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about growth and opportunity. I'm looking around, reaching to different people, just talking, having, conversation, putting it out there more that I'm looking for properties. Even now, just people I know, like saying, hey, if you own any property and you have any vacant units, or you want to rent a space out, let me know. If you would like to make some extra money and are willing to let me sublet, let me know. Just throwing it out there, because you never know, again, who you're talking to, who has what, and what they have going on, and they may very well have in mind to do exactly what you're setting out to do, or something that you know how to do, so you could joint venture in one way or another. And of course, the joint venture is very powerful. I'm working on cleaning up hard inquiries on my credit score, because I want to go for a second round of business credit, and I'm looking at, putting away the credit cards that are going to now have an interest rate, So what I want to do is get them paid down and then close those accounts after getting another 0% interest card. And that way I can keep a 0% APR, because who wants to pay interest? I mean, that's, the whole point of having credit is so you can have extra cash, not to pay extra money for having the convenience of having cash available to you. I just think that it's very wise that if I know a credit card is due to start charging interest in January, that in December or late December I start looking for another 0% interest card, apply for that card, get that card, and then transfer the balance from the interest bearing card to the zero interest card, therefore having a little more time to pay down balances if the balance is too big for you to cover in 1 or 2 payments or 4 payments. At least you won't have that interest accrued to the account that will cause it to become another additional bill. So yes, sometimes there are transfer fees, typically only 3%. I mean, you could transfer a couple of $1,000s for $60. It's well worth it, because if you look at the amount of interest that will be charged, if you're paying 10% interest or 24% interest on the same amount of money, of course it is going to be much more expensive. So yes, transferring a balance is not a bad thing. It is a good thing, especially if you're already paying an interest rate, and possibly a high interest rate. Luckily, my interest rates are not that high. They're pretty good, and it's only because I have good credit. If I didn't have good credit, I could be paying those high interest rates of 24%, 20%, things like that. I don't ever see those interest rates. I think my one of my cards has a 19.3% interest rate. That's the highest rate, and that's pretty high for me. Others are 10.24, 14, stuff like that. Nothing, but one is 19, and I believe that that's my business card with Wells Fargo, if I'm not mistaken. But it could be the other one. But either way, no, I think that's the only one that has interest now. Yeah, that's the only one that has interest. So in a couple of months, some of my other cards, my non-interest cards, will have interest, but I'm still going to keep those because those are business cards, and I don't want to close any of them. I just want to get more, and working hard to try to increase my net worth, working towards still getting that investment property going. I'm not giving up. I don't care. People say, no, she ain't doing nothing. She ain't doing nothing. I'm doing something. It's just taking time. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. I know people say jump in, but there's a lot more involved than people think. And yes, you have to start somewhere. Yes, you will lose money in it, but if you're wise, your risk can be minimal. So I have to execute what feels comfortable to me and what I know will work for me. I can't, it's just like when you're investing in a thing, an object, an item, index, or trading, or any type of investment, a stock. You should never invest more than you can stand to lose. Alright? That goes for saying without anything. So if I was to pull all of my resources and take my very last dollar and put it into something and it failed, that would be really difficult, because again, I wasn't always in the mindset of wealth. I was in a scarcity mindset. I was poor all my life. I was a working class poor, and continued to be so for a huge amount of my time and a huge amount of my children's childhood's time. It wasn't until they were teenagers that I started making decent money and was able to do a lot more things that normal households were able to do without it being a genuine hardship. I mean, really, it was sometimes it was put plates out and say a prayer, and then somebody just show up with food. God is great, you know. So you never know what is going on behind the door next to you, upstairs from you, downstairs from you, down the street from you. That's why I'm a charitable giver. I try to give as often as I can, and when I think I have no more or think I can't and I do, it makes it even better, because no matter what, and I tell you, there's been some dark days and there's been some down times, but I know for a certainty that there's always somebody worse off. There's always somebody worse off, you know. Oh my God. It reminds me of like a little thing I got one day in an email, and I can't say it verbatim, but I'm gonna give you the concept. So it's the concept, and just like me, I was going through stuff with Mattress Firm, and they sent me a terrible mattress, and it was real hard, and it was hurting my back. I was complaining about that, but I was complaining to somebody who could fix it, not just, you know, complaining for the sake of complaining. Will Bowman taught me that don't complain to people who can't resolve your issue. So I was complaining to Mattress Firm about it, but do you know how many people don't have a bed at all, sleep on the floor? Do you know how many people don't have a floor? Some people sleep on dirt floors still. There's countries, third world countries, that still don't have cement or granite or carpet or anything and are sleeping on the ground. There are people who don't have a house or have a roof over their heads. Some people are sleeping homeless on the streets, right in our own community, right in our own neighborhoods. You know, going to a restaurant and your food is not the best food that you could have gotten for your money, but you were able to go in a restaurant and order food, so that must mean that you had money to pay for that food, where some people go days without eating. Some people are eating dirt patties. In Haiti, they make money off of that. Now, you know, the soil there has some nutritional value to it, but it's a hard pill to bite when you got to think that somebody is literally making dirt patties to ingest, and that is what's keeping them alive. And they sell these to people who buy them and they eat it. That's some real shit. You're talking about people who have no food, so they're eating from the land, literally. It's a rough world. You might say, oh my God, you woke up today, it's so cold. But you woke up. Some people won't wake up today. Or they don't have feelings. They can't sense whether it's cold or hot. They may have a health condition that makes them unable to determine, you know, a lot of different things. Your senses, your smell, your vision. You woke up and you could see the world. You say, oh, I don't like fall, it's all these leaves are falling. But what about the blind person who can't see the beauty of autumn? Who can't even begin to visualize how beautiful the color change of the trees and stuff are in the atmosphere? We're sitting here and thinking about our own lives and our own issues and stuff, when there are people with really, really difficult lives, difficult health situations, difficult household situations. There are women who are battered and beaten by their men, and they live in silence and fear of that shit, and they are trapped, and they don't get out of that. Sometimes they don't get out alive. You know, there are people in other countries, third world countries, that are held captive. Look at how Cuba was ran for the longest time. These people could not own property. They could not have a cell phone. They could not have anything. That shit was on. It was on lockdown. It was unbelievable. They were not allowed to own anything. They couldn't have certain stuff. That's dictatorship. That is really a horrible thought. You know, a lot of things have changed, but those people have to be like mentally conditioned now to the point where they're subservient, you know, and if they're not subservient, then they are outlaws and they are bad, you know. They're what you call boladeros or whatever, but they are becoming, those were the ones that become killers and murderers and stuff because they just refuse to back down, and their life was so hard they had to make a choice of crime and death, and just don't care. They just like, I don't care, I'm getting what I want, I'm taking what I want, because if not, somebody's gonna take it from me, and if not, they're not gonna allow me to have what, as a human being, everybody should deserve. So I hear it, you know. It's a world, you know. We living in a world where a lot of stuff goes on right here in our own neighborhoods. People getting killed, shot in the streets, stabbed. You never hear about it on the news. There's so many murders and so many other crimes and stuff going on that sometimes don't even make the blotter. You don't hear about it, you don't know about it. Statistics, you know, if you go online, you got all these pedophiles and child and adult rapists and other kind of sexual offenders and things like that living right in your neighborhood. Stay woke. You gotta know there are people out here driving around taking our little children and our grown women and harvesting their organs and selling them on the black market to people who wish to have things. I believe I heard this on the news now. I could be wrong. Maybe I was bugging. I don't know. It could have been a dream. But I could swear I heard on the news that they're talking about placing uteruses in men so they could bear children. So you mean a transgender person who now has a surgical operation to create a female body part can also get a uterus. Where are they getting this uterus from? These things that are happening in the world now is very scary. It's just super scary. I tell you, it reminds me of that movie Hostile. Like, I love traveling. I love going out and seeing the world and seeing all the beauty that is in it. Because, I mean, the world is an absolutely beautiful place. But I'm telling you, you got to be careful. Remember, people was going to the Dominican Republic of last year and disappearing or mysteriously getting ill and dying and stuff. Some people, you know, and I'm not saying all, but some people from other worlds. And when I say other worlds, it's like when you go to a vacation place, an oasis, a beautiful island, paradise, or whatever, just like here, when we're in our metropolis and we have our good and bad areas, every beautiful place has some bad areas. Take Jamaica, for instance. Kingston is bad. Certain parts of the country, very bad. If you don't know where you at, you could wind up in a bad situation. Certain parts of Newark, where we at, you know, we could be at the job, go a few blocks over, couple blocks down, and you in a little mini Beirut. You know, you're in an area where you gotta sign papers saying that if they want you to do outreach in that area, that you'll sign papers saying that, you know, you don't hold them liable for anything that happens while you're out there at the event. That's some serious stuff. But again, to other countries, when I say another world, I mean they are exactly that. You think that, oh, because it's a tourist attraction, oh, because you go to these places, that people don't do some crazy stuff. in other countries. And yes, you're not supposed to walk in fear. You're supposed to have, the full body armor of God all around you and enjoy what God made. He made this world for us to enjoy. However, you gotta stay alert and aware, because people will snatch you up. People will take your life over little things, jewelry, little bit of money. They say when you travel, don't carry cash. Take traveler's checks. Okay, well, people can take that too. It's just a lot of things that you have to be aware of. And if you think that when you're in your own backyard, just to know that some of the things we hear about on the news, like people going crazy, killing their family, shooting everybody and shooting themselves, or cutting up people and putting them in the damn closet or some stupid shit like that, and then they're walking around normal for days. What about the guy, I think right in Teaneck or somewhere close to where I rest at? This guy had killed his parents and was driving around in their car, and they found him at ShopRite in Englewood or something. And I believe, I could be wrong, I believe the guy's father was in the trunk of the car or something of that nature. It was some crazy stuff. It was either they were found in the home dead, and the guy was out just shopping like nothing happened, like normal. Like, it was crazy. So I'm just saying, wow. Wow. Just really be careful. Think about your life and think about how blessed you are. Do not don't let the media, don't let other people's lives, don't let what the Joneses have, and I say that because people try to keep up with the Joneses, Don't let what another person has dictate how you living or how you feel about what you have, because no matter how small or insignificant you may feel, or you may think that your achievements are less, or you may think that your money is less, don't forget that God is the author and finisher, and everything that you have or will have is predetermined, and it can be, go. It can be given in the blink of an eye. It also can be taken away in the blink of an eye. So there's some very wealthy people with a lot, but that can change in a blink of an eye. All kinds of stuff can happen. You have people who are in the stock markets heavily, and they invest a lot of money, and there are people who are very high risk. I'm a high risk person. I'm very aggressive and can lose like everything, and then they find themselves in a very bad place. That's why I had to say, shit, I need to use self-control and not trade live for a while. I had to back myself up. So I'm learning. I'm using a demo. Yes, I've traded with live accounts. Yes, I have a live account still on. And it's a wealth building trade, because I just never take it off. And yes, I have other stock that I am really actively trading on a traditional account. So yeah, I invest. Yes, I trade. Yes, I have stocks, but I choose wisely. I make good decisions. I try not to be super aggressive. Like, even with my 401k right now, I'm pretty moderate. I'm not aggressive. Right now, I'm like a blend. I have a few high risk items, and then most of my stuff is moderate growth and wealth capital, because I don't want to lose a lot. I want to gain a lot, and I've been doing really well. So the things that I've learned by looking at other people, and by taking losses, and hearing stuff on news, and watching Bloomberg, and just listening to people talk about life and issues and traits, and good things and bad things. And Navarro Tikatwari, I get a lot of great information from him, and then sometimes not. And Navarro Market Monday, all of these great places where you get bits and pieces of information. Sometimes it's just enough to know enough, but then that's why having a club like MLS is a great platform, because we have financial literacy and we talk about stuff and we're in depth and we're really learning behind it. So it makes it a great addition to all the other things that you hear. It's like clutter. It's like when you're trading on a chart and you're on a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. There's a lot of it's a lot of clutter. It's a lot of activity, too much motion going on. If you trade on a higher time frame chart, is less, it's less things happening, less distractions. You tend to stay in a trade longer. You tend to see the true trend of the market instead of jumping while there may just be several pauses in action or a whipsaw effect going on. If you are looking at the overall length of time and you go out to an hour or even a 30-minute chart or a 4-hour chart, you can see the true trend of the day or the week, and then all right, this is where I need to be, this is where I need to put, maybe I might throw in a lot, or I might put in a trade right here. I might long, or I might go short, or whatever. You determine that, and then you stick to it, and you stay in there, and you write it out. There's a 5-minute chart. You see a bar, and then you're looking at red bars, and you're looking at white bars, and you're like, oh, well, I want to take out this trade. I'm going to book profit and close it, but then you still have a lot of time left in the trade. So those are things that you need to learn to do, and you could really, really make a lot of money in the stock market, and you can lose a whole lot more in the stock market. So be wise, make good decisions, learn to be patient, learn to wait things out, learn to get in where you fit in. I had a shirt a long time ago. It was a college shirt. It was Greek fraternity. It said, be a geek or a freak, get in where you fit in. I used to love that shirt. I just thought it was so cool. But it really said a lot. It's just a little shirt and it's a saying, but you gotta get in where you fit in. Don't be somebody that you're not. Don't try to follow the Joneses. Don't try to keep up with other people's lives and do things that are outside of your reach. Your time will come, and when it's there, you'll know it. All right, you guys, have a great day. Enjoy your time. Be safe out here, and it is cold, so bundle up. All right.